So I'm Tom Julius, and I'm going to talk about another innovation in education in New Hampshire. After David talked about nature preschools, charter schools are something that we've been hearing about for a while, but they're relatively new in New Hampshire. Our oldest charter schools in New Hampshire are only 9 years old. So this is not something that's been around for a while. It's something that we're all still kind of getting used to and trying to figure out what they're all about and how they contribute to the sort of constellation of educational opportunity in our state. So in the interest of full disclosure, I'm a founding parent and board member of the Surrey Village Charter School, which is just about 15 minutes north of here. I've, in the course of the last number of years, I've visited most of the operating charter schools in New Hampshire, and I've conducted research on charter school parents. So I know a little bit about this. I was thinking about tonight and the title of tonight, Not Your Father's School. I was wondering, so how is modern schooling not my father's or mother's school? And as David was saying, they probably weren't out in the woods all day during school time. Well, when my father and mother went to school in the 1930s, 75% of the population didn't graduate from high school. There was legally enforced racial segregation, limited opportunities for girls to participate in sports, and the only school choices were the public school down the street or private school. Now, 75% do graduate from high school. Integration is an accepted norm, and girls are guaranteed access to all educational activities, and charters have ushered in public school choice. So what are these charters all about? And I'm going to go back to something your parents would recognize. I'm going to give a test. And actually, I'm going to give a pre-test and a post-test. So here's your pre-test. And we start off with a New Hampshire charter. This is multiple choice. New Hampshire charter schools are run by for-profit companies siphoning off public funds, A. B, the fix for what ails all public schools, all other public schools. C, failing students at a higher than average rate. D, skimming the best and brightest students. Or E, a plot to destroy public education. And of course, the answer is, especially in New Hampshire, none of the above. These false impressions that we get of New Hampshire charter schools, or New Hampshire charter schools in particular, are formed when we hear about government programs like Race to the Top. We read reports from the Heritage Foundation or view popular movies like Waiting for Superman. And it would be easy to draw general conclusions about all charter schools from what we hear in the media or from political pundits, right? Without being really well informed at all about charter schools in New Hampshire, right? So what are we talking about in New Hampshire? Who are these charter schools? Right, so in New Hampshire, we have New Hampshire charter schools are open enrollment, tuition-free public schools of choice. Any student who's a state resident is eligible to attend any given charter school. If you can transport your child there, your child is eligible to attend. And the families that choose charters are really varied. Some are highly involved, others less so, but they universally choose a charter school because it matches their child's need to thrive. Of the 466 public schools in New Hampshire, 18, or about 4%, are charters, and about 0.5% of New Hampshire public school students are enrolled full-time in charter schools. That's about 1,000 students. Now, some New Hampshire charters have a high population of special education and free and reduced lunch students. Others have an average number, and some have very few, very similar to other public schools in New Hampshire. New Hampshire charter schools draw from students from a range of towns in their areas. And here's an important point. Some charter schools are district-sponsored, and others are organized by nonprofit organizations. And more about that in a minute. So I want to tell you the story of 4 charter schools in New Hampshire. So of these 4 up here, 2 of these schools, the Surrey Village Charter School and Cocheco Arts and Technology Academy, those 2 schools were started by parents and educators in their community. So these were, and by the way the law works is that they have to form a nonprofit organization first, and then that nonprofit organization sponsors the school, organizes the school. Surrey Village Charter School is a semi-rural village school whose elementary school was closed due to low enrollment. Community members feared that losing their school would basically take the heart out of their town. And so the Surrey Village has a typical profile of socioeconomic status, special education populations. It was founded on a philosophy of community-based learning, the community as a kind of resource for learning in all subjects and grade levels, a kind of it takes a school to raise a village approach. Cocheco Arts and Technology, which is over in Dover, is kind of a magnet-style school. So those people, some of us who have been in urban areas may be familiar with magnet schools, where they're more common, where there's a significant population of students who want to specialize in a specific area, apply and go to those schools. So for high school students interested in the arts, Cocheco was organized by parents who saw the need for an arts-based curriculum for high school students. Now, North Country Charter School and the Virtual Learning Academy Charter School were both started by school districts in their area. So North Country is specifically for credit recovery and dropout reduction. They have an extremely high rate of low socioeconomic students, homeless and at-risk adolescents. The districts they banded together to address the need to try to reduce the dropout rate, to get more kids to actually graduate with high school degrees. The Virtual Learning Academy Charter School is an online option for high school students. They actually have a fairly few full-time students who attend, but what they do have is many students who actually also attend their local rural high school, and they take online courses that may not be available in the local school that they attend. So 4 charter schools, each meeting the needs of a different population of students in different ways. The unique circumstances of communities have led to a range of philosophies, approaches, and practices in the New Hampshire charter schools. There are 7 elementary schools, they have elementary middle grade charters. Mill Falls and Robert Frost are actually they're Montessori based, and this is something new we're seeing in New Hampshire charter schools now. Strong Foundations there in the middle is an early literacy focused charter school. The Seacoast down here and Birches are arts integration schools, and Polaris has an interdisciplinary curriculum allowing for accelerated learning. There are 11 middle or high school charters. Great Bay e-learning down here at the bottom. It has a differentiated project-based approach. North Country and then CSI have a credit recovery and dropout prevention. PACE, Ledyard, and MC2, Monadnock Community Connections, have a more competency or mastery-based approach. And Academy of Science and Design, of course, with a science and technology approach. Each of these schools is founded with a special mission, seeking to serve a kind of a particular need in the community, resulting in a kind of a wide array of choices and opportunities across the state. They do not have to be, nor are they trying to be, everything for everyone. They embody the one-size-does-not-fit-all philosophy, and they take an intentional approach to creating specialized learning environments to meet the needs of specific students in their local communities. So again, New Hampshire charters have been designed both by school districts as well as local educators and citizens to meet local needs. So what can charters do that existing neighborhood elementary, middle, and secondary schools can't? By necessity, neighborhood public schools serve a kind of common good by maintaining a cultural and organizational status quo. The civic responsibility of neighborhood public schools to deliver a consistent educational product causes them, like any large organization, to gravitate towards stability and uniformity and away from entrepreneurship and innovation. And this is why reform-minded citizens, educators, and school districts embrace charters as an opportunity. They recognize that education is not a zero-sum game where homogeneity provides an equity, that meeting the needs of a diverse student population requires a yes-and mindset, and that creating a variety of unique educational opportunities within the public school system adds value for both the students and the communities. So successful school reform leading to successful students will involve public schools creating pockets of innovation and experimentation that can serve to inspire students, teachers, and the general public. So charter schools, carefully designed, well supervised, and fully funded, can fill that niche. Now, as an aside, charters currently receive 40% of the state average per pupil cost to run their school. There's state legislation pending that could change that, and we'll have to wait and see. But this is one of the risks of charter schools in New Hampshire. We are among the most poorly funded charter schools in the nation right now. Charters represent the public in public education. Charter schools are citizens and educators seeking creative ways to meet the needs of a diverse student population, leading our mothers, fathers, brothers, and sisters to a new concept of what education looks like. So now it's time for your post-test, and actually I gave you the answers to, well, all the answers at once on this one. So New Hampshire charters are politically nonpartisan, run by school districts and not-for-profits, accountable as any public school, serving students and families of all kinds, and part of a healthy, sustainable public school system. And of course, the answer to this one is F, all the above. Thanks.